Good evening everybody, Flak is back. A couple of weeks ago I did a couple of videos with some kind of like glitchy or exploity or 500 IQ plays, that type of thing. I did one, it was super successful. I did another, it was also successful, showing some cool ways on how to hide things in your floor, how to do cool things that people didn't know about in Rust. I will add both those video links in the video description if you haven't seen them. But in this video, I'm going to show you 3 things that will blow your mind. Like the drone system. If you need anything all over the map, all you have to do is send out a drone and it brings you to the safety of the outpost. But what happens if you could manipulate the drone to bring things directly to your base? Also a super sneaky way on how to manipulate the functionality of the L96 and the EOKA pistol. And surveillance cameras, the coolest items in the game? No, because they're clumsy to set up and extremely weak. But what if I told you that I can make the surveillance cameras see through solid objects and make them invisible to enemy players? You interested yet? I certainly hope so. But before we get into those 3 groundbreaking, outstanding 500 IQ plays, I'd like to thank today's video sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Do you like monsters, warriors, and mystical lore? Well, then you need to try Raid Shadow Legends, an epic turn-based RPG game for mobile or PC. If dungeons, bosses, a fully voiced campaign, and hundreds of thousands of active players sounds like your type of thing, you've come to the right place. My personal top 5 favorite things in Raid are the overall game design. I mean, look at the world menu. It's so alive. The graphics are insane. The battle scenes even more so. The number of champions to collect, I'm talking literally hundreds of different champions from tons of different factions. The fact that said champions are incredibly customizable and upgradable, I'm talking armor, weapons, abilities, everything can change, everything can be upgraded. And finally, my favorite thing about Raid is the fact that there's always new content getting released. This month alone, a fresh rotation of the absolute savage Hydra boss, new tournaments and events daily, and even a special Valentine's Day event where you can get your hands on a brand new legendary champion. This is the best time to get started in Raid, and if you click on my link in the video description below or you scan my QR code on the screen, you'll get cool bonuses. We're talking a free epic champion, Rector Drath, 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP booster, and an ancient shard so you can summon your own awesome champion as soon as you get in game. You can collect your bonuses right over here on this section. It's only available to new players for the next 30 days, so get clicking. Thank you to the absolute kings at Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the action. Imagine for a second that you lived really far away. You live so far away in fact that you basically set up your base in Rust Alpha. And that's totally fine. Some people are really bad at PvP. I'm really bad at PvP. But what happens if you go to a monument, you go to a safe zone, you go to a place of interest, you've got very high value loot, but what do you do if your base is really far away and you have to go do important runs, get important loot, or carry important things across the map? Well, you simply go to your vending machine and you get the drone to deliver it to your base. But Mr. Flak, you gorgeous African prince, I hear you say, you cannot use the drone to deliver things to your base. Absolute nonsense. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can bamboozle the drone into delivering things to your base and not to the outpost. And let me show you how to do it. Let's pretend for a second we're at the bandit camp. We are reckless, we are irresponsible, and we're about to take 1000 scrap and gamble it all on 20. Don't forget kids, real gambling is for losers because the house always wins. You're feeling awfully confident, so you drop 1000 on 20, and wouldn't you know it, oh my god, you just won yourself 20,000 scrap. That is an absolutely insane win. You take the 20,000, you put it in your inventory, and fear immediately grips your insides when you realize that you have to take 20,000 scrap back to your base. An AK Chad is very likely going to jump you, but in reality a chicken or a small deer will kill you. You simply pull a Jeffrey Epstein, you spawn back at base, and you go to your beloved vending machine. Oh, vending machine. So lonely, so empty. If only I had things to sell in this vending machine. What's that? A rock? And a torch? You could sell these items. So you open up the administration panel of your vending machine. I would like to sell a rock. Lovely. And I'd like to sell it for scrap. And let's sell it for 9,999 scrap. The maximum amount. And there we go, I'm selling a rock for 10,000 scrap. You can probably see where this is going now. Now I'm going to sell this beautiful torch for some scrap. And because I suspect there might be a drone delivery charge in the very near future coming up, I'm going to make it 9,960 scrap. add sell order, and presto. Apparently I'm selling the world's most expensive rock and torch. And as a last measure, I take my gold and platinum rock and torch and I pop it in the vending machine in case some mystery man wants to purchase them. Respawn back at Bandit. Do the Epstein. Do the Epstein. Respawn back at Bandit. I love winning. Go back to your corpse. Ooh, fancy. Loot yourself because you are the only one that can loot your body in the safe zones. God, I love the game mechanics. Excitedly hurry over to the drone purchasing station and try and figure out ways on how you can spend your 20,000 scrap. Damn, if only somebody was selling 20,000 scrap worth of something. Hey, this shop out in the middle of nowhere that wants to sell a rock and torch for 20,000 scrap? I'll have one of each. And presto, unlike Jeffrey Bezos' rockets, the Amazon drone has liftoff. It heads across the map, safely taking your 20,000 scrap straight to your base. They are impregnable, uninterceptable, and super fast. Damn, I love the game mechanics of this game. You can despawn the crap that you still have on you because let's face it, you've got 20,000 scrap back in base now. You no longer need this garbage. Spawn back in base, wake up, and be greeted with your booty. Hey, you look sleepy. And of course this technique applies to anything. You can even use it to empty out raid bases where you can send the contents of a raided base to the outpost and from the outpost back to your base. You can literally use the system right across the map as long as you have a vending machine. How cool is that? Sub to Flak, baby. And to top off that awesome drone idea, we have a couple of 500 IQ methods on how to bamboozle the surveillance camera system. Now, surveillance cameras are good in theory, but no one's going to camp a door with a giant camera facing the door, so of course it's an eyesore. It can be damaged quite easily, so people don't tend to use them. But what if you could hide the surveillance camera? What if you could make it invisible? And what if you could make it see through solid objects? Now, scattered all across the map are these giant rocks. They're everywhere. You find them on the coast, you find them in the grasslands, but they're more prevalent on the coast. Now, when you're busy building your front door for your base, what you want to do is buy one of these giant boulders, and it's got to be in front of your base like this. I'm gonna build a fictitious base quick. Delightful. Okay, so now I'm in front of my base. I've got that little rock here. I'm gonna take out a surveillance camera and I'm gonna place it. Nope, not up there. We're gonna place it down, down, until it's fully embedded inside the rock. I think you can see where I'm going with this. Place the surveillance camera. Take out a hammer to set the direction. I'm pushing E now. It doesn't make any sound effect, but it is facing me when I push E. Take out our wiring tool, give it some electricity. You can see it says empty. That means it's a terminal. Connect. Give it power. Give it a unique one-of-a-kind name. Go to your computer station, add the name. And presto, you can see completely through the rock. They cannot see it, they can only see the rock. They cannot do damage to that camera now, except splash damage. But why do splash damage to a random rock? Because they won't even know that that surveillance camera is there. I don't really like this angle, so I just quickly want to go change my angle. I need more of an open view of my front door so I can see across. Ooh, lovely. Now that is a view. But what if you want a different kind of view? What if you want an ocean view of the waterfront? Outstanding. Place the camera on the innermost side of the frame, being absolutely sure to place it as left as humanly possible. Name it something even more unique than before. Give it some juice. Carefully set its direction. And when you are 100% satisfied with its placement, you place down an armored glass sheet. That camera hitbox is now behind the glass, but the camera's lens is in front of the glass, meaning you cannot damage that camera unless you break the glass first. There we go, full health. Oof, I love it. Gonna fire at the back of the camera now. And you can see it takes damage from the inside. Yet another method on how to monitor your base without vulnerabilities. However, if this method doesn't tickle your fancy or you don't have access to armored glass, here's another method for you. Place the surveillance camera on the inside of the door. Pay special attention to the placement of the camera. There are 2 spots to attach it. We want to place it as left as possible. There we go. I want to run in and out of my base to make sure that camera is not blocking my entrance, because that can get annoying AF. We give it some juice. We give it a name. And we set its direction. Face it towards the door. Close the door to check. There we go. It's not sticking out through the door. That's perfect. We go inside and add that new camera name. Oh, forgot to close the door. Let's give it a bash. There we go. We can now see through sheet metal doors. Time to spawn an enemy.
Okay.
Go sit down on my chair, see what it looks like. Look at that bad boy. Take out your gun, and you can even pre-fire as you open the door. Goodbye enemies, fuck you door camper. You're welcome. Still not satisfied? Come over here. Come this way. Now this is a method that I actually tested on a live wipe. And it saved me from getting raided. Well, I got raided 6 times that wipe, but it saved me from getting raided. See that rock up there? That is where I'm going to build a small, simple 1x1 surveillance tower. And it serves multiple purposes. I have a vantage point on my base, and I'm going to place down literally a single foundation here. I'm going to build it into a simple structure. Place down a camera. Aim it. Put down a solar panel and a medium battery so I can keep the camera running all night. Make it daytime because nighttime sucks dick. And there we go, I've got a small surveillance station. Now you're probably thinking, why is a surveillance station necessary? But I assure you it is absolutely crucial, especially if you have no shooting floor or very poor visibility. If I'm inside my base and I hear somebody creeping around outside or lurking or just messing with me in general, I can simply dial into my surveillance station. This will give me the ability to monitor the outside of my base, make plans, make arrangements, see what they're doing outside my base if I cannot see what they're doing outside my base. Furthermore, if you've got a large compound, you can add multiple surveillance stations around your base that you can view from multiple angles. And remember, inside each surveillance station, you have the ability to put down a sleeping bag, a small wooden box, and a bolty, so that if somebody is actually messing with your front door, you can simply spawn in there and actually fire at them and kill them from a distance. That is insanely cool. And finally, the L96 and Yoko glitches. Now, this is the L96, you know how it works. It has 5 bullets in the chambers. When you fire, it goes down to 4 and 3, etc, etc. And when it's empty, all you have to do is reload it. It takes out the little magazine, it replaces it, and that delays a gunfight. But what if you could have the gun never fully reload? The rifle remains full no matter how many times you fire it. How do I do this? Every single time I click fire, I also push the reload key at exactly the same time. This glitches the gun into staying full and gives you the ability to never stop fighting at long range if you're having a sniper war. How freaking cool is that? Again, very important, it requires a bit of practice, but you have to click fire and reload at exactly the same time for this trick to work. You don't need to do it with a scope, you can do it with no scope or with a holo, making it a very cool medium range fighting weapon. And our final tip for the day, everyone's favorite Yoko pistol. Now you guys know how unpredictable this thing is, it's insane, like sometimes it hits 10 or 20 times before it fires, and there's no real way to guarantee a shot, except that there kinda is. Just like with the L96, but slightly different, if you hit reload a split second after hitting the fire key, so it's a little bit of a staggered jump, you can almost 100% fire instantly. It doesn't always work, but it gets down to like 99% accuracy. It's quite insane, and it will certainly help you make some sneaky plays. So remember, just as you click fire, a split second later you click reload, and 99% of the time it will have positive results. Ooh, look at this bear. Instant fire. Look at that. It's very effective, it does work really well, but again, the timing is critically tight, like my wife, and it doesn't work 100% of the time. Let's call it 98. Sounds about right to me. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna get eaten by a bear. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I will be back very shortly with more 500 IQ plays. To my darling, beautiful Patreons, thank you so much for your support. I thoroughly appreciate you guys. You have no idea. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time, and as always, Flak out.